Have you ever caught yourself scrolling through social media, feeling a twinge of envy as someone else announces their new success, promotion, or milestone? Do you sometimes wonder why others seem to be racing ahead while you feel stuck in the same place? The truth is, envy drains energy. It convinces you that you're behind. But focus transforms envy into action. Focus doesn't just silence jealousy, it builds unstoppable momentum in your own life. If you're ready to trade comparison for clarity and jealousy for drive, then stay with me until the end. And before we dive deep, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss more life-changing strategies on self-improvement, motivation, and mental strength.
1. Why distraction fuels envy. Distraction is the open door that envy walks through. It begins innocently. You check what others are doing, you scroll through endless feeds, you glance at their updates, but soon your attention drifts entirely away from your own work. Instead of tending to your garden, you are watching someone else's flowers bloom. The danger of distraction lies not just in the lost time, but in the fertile ground it creates for envy. When your eyes are constantly directed outward, measuring and comparing, you slowly drain yourself of the energy that was meant to be invested inward. The more scattered your focus becomes, the easier it is for jealousy to sneak in, whispering that you are behind, unworthy, or failing simply because someone else is moving at a different pace. Think about it. The more you focus on what others are doing, the less time you spend improving yourself. Distraction makes comparison effortless because it offers an endless stream of reference points. Someone has more money, someone travels more, someone posts more polished pictures. But all of this comes at the cost of your own growth. Every moment given to observing another's journey is a moment stolen from your own. Envy thrives in these conditions because comparison has a never-ending fuel source. Progress, however, becomes nearly impossible. You cannot move forward with conviction if your attention is fractured into 1,000 little pieces, each attached to a different person's highlight reel. The truth is that envy is never truly about other people. It is a symptom of misplaced attention. When you feel jealousy creeping in, it is not because someone else is inherently better than you. It is because your focus has wandered from your own lane into theirs. It is because your vision is blurry, your attention diluted. By owning your focus and reclaiming your attention, you starve envy of its oxygen. Imagine a magnifying glass held to the sun. Scattered light warms, but concentrated light burns. The same is true for your mind. When directed outward, your focus causes envy to smolder, but when directed inward, it fuels clarity, growth, and unstoppable drive. The first step to dissolving jealousy is not to change others, it is to guard your focus like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does.
2. Creating laser-sharp goals. Clarity destroys envy. When you know exactly what you are working toward, the noise of comparison begins to fade into the background. It no longer matters who is running faster in another lane because you are not in their race. Their finish line is irrelevant to you. This is the gift of clarity. It silences the mental chatter that breeds jealousy. A person without goals is like a ship without a compass, drifting wherever the tide of distraction carries them. They become vulnerable to envy because they have no fixed direction. But once you know where you are going, every step you take feels purposeful, and purpose is the greatest antidote to envy. Goals are not just wishes, they are compasses. They orient you when life feels overwhelming, and they protect you from the drift into comparison. Without them, your energy leaks into places it does not belong. You start measuring yourself against others because you have no concrete measure of your own progress. But when you define clear, laser-sharp goals, you suddenly shift from reacting to the world to actively shaping it. Your energy is no longer dispersed across 1,000 distractions. Instead, it is concentrated, precise, and powerful. Envy fades because it has no place to cling. Your vision is too clear, your path too direct. A person with a clear target becomes dangerous, not to others, but to excuses, distractions, and wasted time. The world is full of noise, and only those with strong, defined goals can cut through it. Write down your goals, break them into daily, actionable steps, and revisit them regularly. When you revisit your goals, you remind yourself of your lane, your race, your timing. Others can sprint ahead or take detours. It does not matter because your compass remains fixed. This kind of clarity builds resilience against jealousy because envy can only survive in uncertainty. When your vision is sharp, your comparison reflex quiets down. You stop asking, "Why are they ahead?" and start asking, "What's my next step?" That subtle shift in focus transforms envy into momentum, and momentum into achievement.
3. Eliminating time wasters. Momentum isn't built by doing more, it's built by cutting out what doesn't matter. The modern world offers an infinite buffet of distractions: social media binges, gossip, unnecessary drama, endless scrolling, meaningless entertainment. Each of these seems harmless in isolation, but collectively they are thieves of focus. They rob you of your sharpness, your discipline, your fire. The hours slip by unnoticed, and envy begins to grow because while you feel stagnant, others appear to be moving ahead. But the truth is not that they are necessarily doing more, it is that you are doing less of what actually counts. Eliminating time wasters is not about becoming a productivity robot. It is about creating the space where real growth can occur. Every wasted hour feeds envy. The longer you stand still, the more exaggerated others' progress appears. But when you begin reclaiming those wasted hours, something powerful shifts. You transition from an observer into a participant. You are no longer watching the race, you are running it. The more you focus on cutting unnecessary distractions, the less bandwidth envy has to thrive. Time is the soil from which all progress grows, and when you water weeds, scrolling, gossip, drama, you starve your own potential. But when you pull those weeds out, you reclaim space for meaningful growth, and envy loses its grip. Instead of feeling left behind, you begin to feel carried forward by the sheer force of your regained momentum. Protect your time like it is your most valuable asset, because it is. Money can be regained, possessions can be replaced, but time lost is never recovered. Every minute wasted is a piece of your life you will never get back. Momentum thrives in an environment free of clutter, distraction, and wasted energy. Think of your time as a sacred currency and every activity as an investment. Will this bring you closer to your vision, or will it feed envy by leaving you stagnant? When you guard your hours with discipline, you turn time into an ally instead of an enemy. In that discipline lies freedom. The freedom to progress without comparison, to move forward without envy, to create a life where your only competition is who you were yesterday. 4. Turning effort into daily wins. Momentum is not built in one giant leap, it's built in small, consistent wins. Many people make the mistake of waiting for a breakthrough moment, a grand event where their lives transform overnight. But in reality, transformation is the quiet accumulation of effort over time. A single workout doesn't make you fit, but 100 consistent workouts create a body that looks and feels different. One page written doesn't make you an author, but 1,000 daily words, repeated with discipline, birth a finished book. The truth is that momentum is fragile in its early stages. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It shows up in the quiet discipline of doing what you said you would do, even when no one is watching. Each completed task is not only progress, it is a deposit into the account of self-trust. And when you trust yourself enough to follow through, momentum becomes unstoppable. This is why daily effort, no matter how small, carries more weight than sporadic bursts of inspiration. You are proving, through consistent action, that you are moving forward, even if the steps feel microscopic. When you measure success by daily effort instead of instant results, you shift from comparison to confidence. Too often, people rob themselves of joy by stacking their progress against someone else's highlight reel. They see another person's years of work compressed into a single viral moment and immediately feel behind. But comparison is a thief. It blinds you to the reality of your own growth. The antidote is to redefine success, not as reaching a destination, but as faithfully taking steps every day. If your success metric is showing up and giving effort, then you always have the power to win. Jealousy loses its grip when you no longer measure yourself against others, but instead against your own commitment. Did you write your page today? Did you move your body? Did you keep the promise you made to yourself? That is success. And with that definition, no one can outpace you, because your race is only against the version of yourself who existed yesterday. The shift from comparison to confidence liberates you from envy and anchors you in progress that is deeply personal and unshakable. Celebrate small wins. They are not insignificant. They are the bricks that build the fortress of your future. Too often, people dismiss daily effort because they expect greatness to feel dramatic. But greatness rarely announces itself in the moment. It is built quietly, like interest compounding in an account. Every small act of discipline, every time you rise when you'd rather stay in bed, every time you push forward when it would be easier to quit, those small choices stack up. And when they stack long enough, they create momentum so powerful that it becomes self-sustaining. Celebrate them, because without acknowledgement, you will always feel like you're chasing something far away instead of appreciating how much ground you've already covered. By honoring your daily wins, you turn effort into joy and progress into proof. Before long, the competition is no longer with strangers online or people ahead of you. It is with yesterday's version of yourself. And if you can wake up every day and be just 1% stronger, wiser, or more disciplined than you were yesterday, then your trajectory is unstoppable. Small wins are not small, they are everything, because they are the path to everything you want.
5. Staying hungry for growth. Momentum isn't something you build once and then forget. It must be fed daily. Imagine pushing a heavy boulder uphill. At first, the effort is enormous. You strain, you sweat, you feel like progress is impossible. But eventually, after enough pushes, the boulder starts to roll more easily. This is the stage where many people relax. They assume that since the boulder is moving, it will continue forever. But momentum decays if it is not continuously fueled. The same is true in life. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you stop feeding your growth, the boulder begins to slow. Comfort becomes the enemy here. Success can tempt you into complacency, and complacency reopens the door for envy. You look around and suddenly notice others who kept pushing while you paused. Momentum requires vigilance. It requires you to feed it daily with effort, curiosity, and discipline. The truth is, you cannot coast on yesterday's growth. If you want to stay ahead, not of others, but of your past self, you must stay hungry. To prevent this, cultivate a hunger for growth. Hunger is not simply desire, it is an active state of pursuit. When you are hungry, you don't wait for food to arrive, you seek it. Apply the same mindset to your personal evolution. Read more books. Expose yourself to new ideas. Challenge yourself with skills that stretch your capacity. Set bigger and bolder goals.
The more you expand your world, the less time you have to measure yourself against others. Envy thrives in stagnation, but hunger thrives in progress. You cannot be consumed by jealousy when you are too occupied with building, creating, and evolving into the person you are destined to become. Every new book read, every challenge embraced, every skill acquired adds another layer to who you are. And with each layer, the comparison game fades further into irrelevance. The hunger itself becomes the fuel. It pulls you forward relentlessly, keeping you focused on what lies ahead rather than what others are doing beside you. Hunger for growth transforms focus into a lifestyle. It's not about short bursts of inspiration, it's about embedding growth into your identity. When you are hungry, you no longer see effort as a burden, but as a privilege. Each day becomes an opportunity to sharpen your mind, expand your perspective, strengthen your body, or deepen your character. Hunger transforms you into a builder, someone who is too busy laying bricks to stop and envy another person's house. It makes growth a way of being, not an occasional project. And here lies the real secret. When growth is your lifestyle, you never arrive. You are always becoming. You stop chasing others because the only chase that matters is the one between who you are now and who you could be tomorrow. Hunger liberates you from envy because instead of asking, "Why don't I have what they have?" you begin asking, "What's the next version of me I can create?" This mindset not only dissolves jealousy, it ignites fulfillment. You become so immersed in your evolution that comparison feels foreign, even irrelevant. That is the power of staying hungry. It ensures you never stop moving, never stop becoming, and never stop winning the only race that truly matters, the one against yourself.
Here's the truth. Jealousy fades the moment you commit to your own path. Distraction feeds envy, but focus starves it. With clarity, discipline, and daily effort, you can build a momentum so powerful that comparison becomes irrelevant. So stop watching, stop wishing, and stop comparing. Start focusing, start building, and start winning. Remember, focus beats jealousy every single time. If this message resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Subscribe, share it with someone who needs it, and let's build this community of relentless growth together.